totally forgetting to record it. So welcome to our 3 easy ways to meditate. Now, this class is great for someone who has never meditated, and it's also great for a lot of these folks that I have with us on this amazing manifesting group here who are going to help us hold space and create this amazing intention of learning how to meditate tonight with ease, having some really great ways to be able to go to sleep at night, almost like self-recoding in a way. This is some tools that you can kind of bring just to different points in your life when you notice that, say, anxiety is rising, things are starting to kind of pile up, and the emotions are getting bigger than what you're feeling like you're in balance of. So I'm just going to essentially dive right in here. I'm super passionate about meditations because what they do is they help us to really implant what we learn with our magnetic mind coaching. Plus, it actually helps us to develop those neurological pathways in between recodes, in between treatments, in between doing anything for ourselves. It's kind of like I see this almost liking it to doing it between massage appointments to kind of keep you loose, and it's almost like that stretching in between that's going to sort of keep things moving how it should, because movement is always, even when you have something sore, they say, well, moving, you want mobility, you want to get that joint moving, you want to get that inflammation out. So that's kind of what we're going to do with the meditations tonight. It feels nice and juicy, so it's going to be lots of fun. As you guys know, there's so many different ways to meditate. You can do it with music, without music. You can dive into transcendental or kundalini, or you can sort of dive into all these different types of meditation. But when we start looking at it like that, it gets kind of crazy and confusing, and we kind of almost want to go, I'm not even going to do it. So what I have found is that everybody has a really different style. And for some, the music tones may actually be more effective for you. So I encourage people to kind of have fun on YouTube. It's a really great free resource for meditations. I also have a couple apps that I use that are free that are really good. One was, I think, the UCLA one I told you guys about before. The other one I have on my phone is a neat one because it actually is something that I have put some meditations on as well. It's called Insight Timer, and it's all sorts of people who have made meditations, and you can put them on this platform, and they sort of go through the best and the most listened to, and you can donate to the person on there if you really like, they really sort of like where the meditations are going, or you like the particular accent, you can sort of follow that person, and if you want, you can make them a donation. So it's kind of a neat way that they work the site. I saw that you're exactly right. YouTube, it is a bit of a godsend. I think it's probably what got most of us actually probably in this room together, just knowing each other, finding each other. This is all, I love how, every time we meet in a tribe like this, it's like it's all so meant to be, right? So even if I can give you guys a few tools, a few glimpses into the way I've found meditation to be really, really easy and really, really effective. I was talking about this money portal that I love just entering every once in a while and giving myself a challenge to see if I could be able to actually manifest some money in some kind of way, and having just completely open views about that. And so stepped in last night, did this meditation again, and that's what made me want to do it today, because my husband just got home with the mail, and he got his we have this like provincial insurance basically for our cars. And I've been driving, like I used to, a lot of you guys know my story. I was a massage therapist till I ran into a semi truck 3 years ago. And I'm still waiting for shoulder surgery. It's been just a crazy road. This magnetic mind has been able to get me through. I've gotten off of all painkillers. I've gotten off of doing any kind of, and it's been a year now. It's like, it's amazing to think. And I just stopped. Like, it was just like, I just decided I wanted to live a healthy life. And I did the and it literally, I made that choice, and I never went back to ever doing it again. And it was profound, because none of this would have happened, right, if YouTube wasn't here in the first place, and I hadn't have actually unlocked some of these keys to being able to just sort of cope with life and the things that we've been through. So he brought the mail in. I opened this check, and for me driving so well for the last few years, we got a bigger check than we had ever expected. And it really, like, it sort of just came at a really great time. And I was like, the fact that I did the meditation just last night and then this happening, that's that positive sort of emotion that sets up that sort of that Matthew effect, right? When it just sort of keeps building and keeps building. That's that first set point of that 2 stone, getting through the gap. That's that emotional tag that is now in my superconscious, is now in my field as a good thing. I can even feel goosebumps as I was so grateful for it. Normally it would be open the check, I'd lose it for a while, I'd get it in the bank when I needed to. I was like so grateful for it, noticing everything. And it just felt so good to be able to just be grateful for it and to see that it actually works. Like, I've never done that meditation and it hasn't worked, right? So now it's kind of like, okay, so what else can I do? I was like making these little challenges for myself. So I'm gonna take you guys to the money portal because it's just a lot of fun. So I actually feel like just jumping in there right now, just because it's such a blast. Is everybody ready for this? We're gonna do it's like maybe 10-15 minutes of just going into this money portal, just exploring, just kind of seeing what's there. And then we're going to talk a little bit more. We're going to come back, and I'm going to just go over a few ways to kind of do something like this at night, so that you can kind of guide yourself through this. There's all sorts of ones on YouTube as well, money manifestations, right? This money portal I found about a year ago, and it's probably still on there. So I'll see if I can actually find it. Of course, I've recorded a bunch myself too. I have the money portal meditation recorded. I just never put it out there because when I started putting my meditations out, you always get that, that resistance. So is it good enough to be out? Is it, but I feel like I just want to put my meditations out there. I just want to share them with people. I have my lenses one where I have just like a 10 minutes. Okay, good. Like I did like a 15-minute lenses one that just kind of brings you through each choice. And then I have the money portal, and then I have one for health, and I have one for love. So why not, right? I might as well start putting them. So I've taken sort of some things that I've watched some other really great coaches do too, and I downloaded them all in my group, and so now my group will be able to just sort of access them, and then I can offer like my paid group to people, and they can access everything now. Finally, it was like put my webinars in, but for some reason my meditations I was just so nervous about. But when I did send a couple of them to a few of you guys just to see what you thought, I got such great responses. I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. So I could definitely send you the lenses one too, and it's in the group too. I know, I think you're in there. So awesome. So yeah, meditations are just easy, right? They're so easy. Put them on for 15 minutes, you're sort of one and done. But I want to kind of go through this money portal meditation so that you guys can even make your own money portal for your, if you're coaching people, or it's simply the cool thing about it is we go into the third eye. And when we go into that third eye, we're able to get this pressure, and it allows that pineal gland to almost open up inside the brain. And at that point, you feel some pressure. This is probably where you guys feel connected to superconscious. I always feel like I'm wearing my glasses, even if I'm not. I get this like pressure across the bridge of my nose almost. And it literally allows you into this money portal. So yeah, if you're not feeling the light when I'm asking you to breathe into the third eye, what you can do is just take a finger or two and just literally push right on the third eye for about 10 to 15 seconds. And that will also allow that pineal gland to sort of open up. So there's a little tool too, even if you're trying to go to sleep, that's a way to sort of get your pineal gland at least working with you. All right. So I know you guys know the meditation position, and this is a meditation that is best done sitting up. So you are quite alert through this meditation. especially because I'm not using the music behind. If you use music behind, which I did in my recording, it has all of the waves of delta, just kind of getting your brain into that state. But we're going to be able to get there in just a few seconds. So I am going to have you guys just for now place your hands on your lap with the palms up. This is the receiving mode when you're getting into meditation and you're just sort of allowing. The best way is to have the palms up. Mine are already sweating. They get nice and hot when I'm in a big group that starts to open up their energy in their hands. So however you are, you're just going to take a few nice deep breaths. You're going to allow your palms to just be open, either on your lap or on the desk, wherever you are. And I'm going to have you gently close your eyes. And I'm going to have you just take a few nice, very slow, deep breaths. We're just going to allow our body to just tune in with our breath. Noticing the breath coming in your nose, filling your belly, filling your body. And when the breath leaves your body, I want you to just relax deeper and deeper, blowing that air out your mouth. And just continuing some nice slow breaths, nothing forced, just nice deep breaths. And just allowing your body to relax more and more with every breath. And I want you to notice as the breath comes in your body that it just touches on any tension, any sore spots, any places in the body that may be holding tension. And I want you to just direct the breath to that area for just a moment. Just allow the breath to go there, to expand into that area. Just gently scanning the body. Noticing the pelvic floor muscles, relaxing them all, relaxing your hips. Relaxing your belly and your shoulders. Letting the muscles go around the neck and the jaw. Dropping your tongue from the roof of your mouth. I want you to allow your breath to start slowly climbing up your neck and into the head. And I want you to focus right now on your breath going into the third eye. Closing your eyes, making sure you're allowing every muscle to just go deeper and deeper into relaxation with every breath. On the breath in, I want you to bring that breath up to that third eye. Cross the bridge of the nose, right in between the eyebrows, just above. Bringing your breath into that spot, almost like you're looking into it right now, looking into your third eye. And I want you to notice the light, the shimmer that's far ahead. Almost like a starburst kind of a light. Somewhat like a solar eclipse even, just off in the distance. I want you to notice that the sparkles are drawing you. And right now you're starting to look at your own body walking towards that light. You can see your back. As you're walking away, towards the light, and right now, you're noticing that this light is actually a portal. It's like a magic portal that's drawing you towards it right now. And all you can see is the light, but I want you to take a step towards it. And notice that all of a sudden, as you go to step in, you're just transported painlessly and effortlessly into the money portal. And all you can see is money. You may see it in coins. You may see it in stacks of bills. You may see it in caricatures. You just see money starting to pile up all around you. The money is actually falling from the sky. It's actually literally filling like this full, abundant flow. And it's just stacking up. And I want you to just notice everything about that money as you're starting to almost be surrounded by it. If any other thoughts start coming in, I want you to literally put a pin in those thoughts like you're tagging it right now. And just suspend it. Letting your mind go right now, suspending all those other thoughts. We're going to be in the portal right now and feeling and hearing and smelling and tasting and touching and breathing money. I want you to just notice, how does it feel? What do the bills look like? What kind of numbers are on those bills? What do those stacks of bills feel like? Are they new? Are they old? And I want you to, as you're breathing with your hands still open, just noticing that that money has an energy. It's almost like a vibration. What does that money feel like? Is it vibrating at the same level that you are? And I want you to tune to that vibration. This is where we tune to the manifestation frequency. You can't see anything else but money. There's nothing else. There's no room. It's just money. And it's all around you. And I want you to notice that it's not stopping. There's more than you could ever spend. And I want you to just spend a moment feeling that money, breathing. And as you're breathing that money, actually feel it. Reach out and touch it. Hold it in your hands. Be grateful for it. It's been hiding here this whole time. And I want you to just notice some of those little things that may come up. Just putting pins in them, suspending all other thoughts. And just feeling abundance. As you're feeling this abundance, as you're touching this abundance, you're actually downloading these abundance codes. These are all planting into your conscious field right now. I see someone lying and rolling in it. Spreading it all out, playing in it, building castles with coins. And I want you to just feel right now that I am abundance. I am wealth. I am money. Money just effortlessly comes my way from all sorts of streams. Money is constantly flowing in. Taking a couple of nice deep breaths. I want you to feel the statement right now, I am worthy. I deserve this. I've been waiting for this. I allow it to come in any way it will. I am allowing abundance. I am allowing money. I am allowing wealth. I'm open to receiving money in any way that it will come. And I am open to receiving true abundance. And as you're in your money portal, I want you to just take one last look around and remember the colors. Remember the smell. And remember the feeling of just knowing it's always there and it's always coming in. And when you're ready, we're going to take a step out of the portal and we're going to come out as easily as we went in. And we're going to notice that we can still see this light and we can still feel this pressure. And I want us to allow that feeling of abundance to just expand. To just expand into our field right now. To expand into our house. And I want you to look around your house right now and I want you to picture some of that money that's spilled out of that portal that's actually hiding in places in your house. And I want you to notice right now, whatever room that you're standing in, that money, you can't even keep it hidden anymore. It's starting to fall out of cupboards and burst out of drawers, and you're trying to almost keep it contained, but it's just bursting through. And I want you to just notice that you can't stop it. We're just going to allow all of those manifestation codes to continue to download directly from that portal to you. And I want you to feel it get a little bit bigger. In fact, it's bursting out of your house now and it's going into the yard. You can't even hide it from the neighbors anymore. But there's plenty for everyone. So I want you to just notice that it's actually starting to burst into the neighborhood and how it could affect all those people. And I want you to notice that your abundance is expanding into the whole town. and into the whole city. And I want you to just feel that expansiveness into the whole country. And now we're just going to spread it to the whole world. I want you to notice those areas that may be popping up for you that you may be touching. Because that money's there to help them. And when you're ready, I'm going to have you take a few deep cleansing breaths. And we'll just have you come back to all of your senses. And just open your eyes when you're ready. I love the one thing about meditation is that by changing our thoughts for even just a moment, we're changing our neurological system out of survival mode, because we're often in survival mode, right? A lot of us sort of operate in survival mode. And it's very difficult to get out of survival mode sometimes, we feel. It's not, though, because all we have to do is take a few deep breaths, literally a few deep breaths. And that changes our neurological pathway right away. It allows that fight or flight. When we're an animal, right, they have that fight or flight. And within about 20 minutes, they can go totally back to homeostasis and go back to drinking in the pond. And there could be a lion behind them and they're still not panicked until that fright factor comes in, and they'll either run or freeze so they don't feel themselves being eaten. So it's one or the other, right? I know it's terrible, but when we go into that fight or that flight, that's that neurological system all of a sudden fighting, and it fights us on so many ways that when we can simply just go somewhere in our mind for a few minutes, it's going to reset that automatically. So it's true, we can meditate for longevity, longevity. We could meditate on our face being toned and exercised. We could meditate on almost anything. The one experiment that I loved from Joe Dispenza was when they did the one where they exercised someone. They did three studies. They had the control group that didn't do any exercise. They had the mind group that did the exercise with the finger muscle or a bicep muscle. And then they just did it physically. And then there's the group that did it just mentally. So the group that did it mentally was only 10% behind the group that did it physically. So the control group had no change whatsoever. The ones that did it mentally, they actually improved 20% of their muscle strength. The ones that did it physically, it was 30% worth of muscle strength. So just by simply thinking that they were doing that exercise, it actually made physical change in their body. So when we do Recode, you guys have probably noticed when you start with someone and when you finish with them, I often like having it recorded so that they can even see the change in themselves. Or you've seen even Chris, like, you look different. It's your cells actually shift, your DNA shifts, we're energy, we're able to actually shift. So, and this is exactly it, right? The mind doesn't know whether we're actually in the money portal and rolling in money, or if we're just thinking about it. The field has just been imprinted with us, whoever that was rolling in money. It was really neat. Just was so cool. Just like spreading it out and just lying, and it was just like, yeah, it was so good. And the stacks of money, I felt like, so there was just these new stacks, just these beautiful big stacks of Canadian $100 bills was what I was seeing. They were like just stacks of them. And I could smell, our Canadian bills smell like maple. They actually smell like maple syrup. So I could actually smell the maple. It was really neat. Yeah, it's who would have thought, right? when I lived in Grand Cayman, I thought it was the coolest thing that their money was waterproof. And then I felt it was like mind blown when I realized that a lot of the money comes in from being on a boat and like floating into the island. And so the money, both floating and being waterproof, was very good for them. And plus it was a diving community, right? So you would go diving with money all the time and it was fine. It was really neat. So yeah, we do have that. I could actually smell the maple syrup on our $100 bill. So that was really neat. Did anybody want to share anything about the money portal? I know it wasn't brand new. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's too cute. Oh, Kayla, you poor thing. Your structures are always falling. That hey, we go.
Apparently, I don't know how to do anything soft. That's what we're learning there.
Poor girl's lighthouse is like off the cliff. We're trying to reel it back in her.
No, this time it was like, so the stuff was like the piles were kind of coming down and I was walking in between and I was like, whoa, okay, hold on. Am I gonna drown in this money? Like, and then I was like, okay, all right, I'm all right. I'm still like above water. So I was like, okay, I'll just start playing with this money now. Like, but yeah, it was kind of like, and then so when you were like, it's literally falling from the sky, and I was like, holy shit, are coins falling from the sky? Am I gonna like die from that?
I actually saw that. But I saw it more of like a nice gentle making.
Right. It was like a gentle rain. I was like, oh god, it's a downpour.
I did feel a little trapped in there for a moment. So maybe that could have definitely been that's interesting. Yeah.
No, but then I was like, I'll just swim in it. That sounds fun.
It's so cute. I love it. Way to accept it and just go with it. And that's all. That's what it's about, right? Playing in the field and just allowing it, just accepting it. Oh, you guys are hilarious. Welcome to America. You're awesome, Kim. How about anybody else? Was that were you guys able to get into the money portal, or were you able to see that light? Yeah, go ahead, Sarah. I'd love to hear.
I just really, really enjoyed the imagery because you encouraged so much play there that I was raking up bills of various Canadian currencies. So all the colors, just like I would rake up leaves, and then we were jumping into the piles and rolling around on them, and I could smell the maple, and I'm like, is that the maple trees or is that the bills, and who cares? And then it was like going and getting a little, like there were piles of loonies, and so I was making little gold castle towers and we were playing with that. And then there was this, it was falling from the sky, and so they were all $5 bills because they were blue. And then it was like, oh, there come the pink ones, and they were blowing around. And then I heard what sounded like water, and it was actually the sound of like, and I've never experienced it in person, but in movies and stuff, when somebody hits the jackpot and the coins all shoot out of the thing, that cascade of coins, they were falling over a water. It was a money fall, and I was like, ooh, that's so pretty. And so I was holding my bucket out and getting some of those so I could like add to my little tower. And then other people were jumping in the piles of monies. And then there was some stacks like made into benches so we could sit and relax on them. It was really, really fun. And somebody wanted an umbrella, and I'm like, why? Why do you need an umbrella? Like, just like, let it rain. Let it rain. Anyway, yeah, they were falling all over the place. And I did have a moment of worrying about the weathering of, and I'm like, wait, no, my money's like plastic, so we're good. And then I'm like, oh, the feeling of the plastic clean $100 bill that smells like a maple leaf. Like, yes, please. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Nice. I'm so glad. It's so fun because you guys are so intuitive and able to just go play. So I love hearing where things take you. It's so beautiful. And I really feel like I saw all of that. Like that's really cool. Sarah. Thank you for sharing.
When you were describing, Jackie, you're describing it like squirting out of the house and you can't hide it from the neighbors. And I'm like, oh no, that's okay. I can leave the pile out in the yard and they can jump in it. It's fine because
Right?
and every leak in my house and every little crack and crevice that I know about in my house, money was just squirting out of it. It was just like
Perfect.
almost like it was, I don't, it was like, if you were trying, like the money was like coming out of a crack, but it was like
Kind of
several
the
bills at
jam.
once and with wind attached, and they were just blowing out like a dispenser that got busted. And I'm like, oh, look, there's more. I
Love
thought it was just tremendous. Thank you. What a great
Oh, you guys
feeling.
are so fun. So fun. And that's totally something that you can do virtually anytime, right? Like just kind of jumping back into that portal, literally once you close your eyes and you sort of look or press, or you can get into that space. If you look, you can see it is just this tiny light, and it will just be your little portal to kind of be able to jump into anytime you need to. I love it.
I'm gonna go visit Sarah.
Right? I want to go in
visit
Sarah's
Sarah.
playground.
Go visit Sarah. Mine was a little bit different. I had pallets and it was like they're green and I wasn't sure if they were money or not. I'm like, okay, hopefully I'm not doing drugs here, but you know, like,
Sketchy.
like going through this warehouse where I had these pallets of green wrapped cellophane things. I'm like, okay, well, hopefully it's money.
That was my Grand Cayman money coming in off the shore. That's
Wow.
awesome. Good for you. Thanks for
I
sharing.
really, I was interested in, you were saying, put a pin in
Mhm.
any thoughts that come in.
Yeah.
And so I grabbed a handful of $100 bills and tacked them to the thing. And I was like pinning stuff all over the place. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that, but I'll just leave it there and I'll walk back out of the portal.
I like it.
But yeah, to put a
That's
pin in it was like, there was a number of
of pins.
resistant thoughts,
Yeah.
let me call it that. It was like, I don't know if I should be, or what if somebody else, or, all of those little worry kind of thoughts. And I'm like, oh no, I'm just going to throw $500 at that and stick a tack in it.
I love it.
And I gave it a fraction of a second of thought when you said, now just step out of the portal. And there was like money stuck to my feet, and there was like some in my pockets, and I'm like, oh, I guess that's fine. It's just like trailing behind me.
Yeah, just coming with
And
you. Yeah.
and I thought, oh, what about all those things and all the money that I pinned to whatever
Perfect.
the
Because
bubble was?
we're gonna go back in that to those pins in the recode. So it's gonna be perfect.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
I have a question.
Absolutely.
For the first time in my life, I actually had a tough time. Like
Interesting.
I went into meditation. I was able to see that when you said it's like a starburst, I'm like, yep, I see that. And I stepped into it. And I started to get a couple of visuals of how money, like a room like that might look. And then it kind of just went dark, and I was trying to fighting to stay awake then.
Interesting.
So I don't know if, and this is really for anybody who might be watching the recording, how maybe they had the same experience or something,
Yeah.
but I would love to experience this again, maybe do it as a morning meditation.
Yeah.
Maybe when I'm not sure. I don't know what happened. Maybe I have some unconscious money beliefs really really trying to get in the way there. I don't know, but I found it really
Absolutely.
interesting either way. But I would love if you could share the recording. I would really appreciate that, because I would love to insert
Absolutely.
it in my morning routine.
I think you're right on that. Sorry, every time I do recode now, I sneeze. Have you guys had that? Like, as soon as I'm finished, I sneeze for like half an hour.
That's because you're moving, you're transmuting energy, sweetie. Yep.
It's great, except for if I kind of go in and then come out and then go in again, because I'm trying to do the rest of the recode without sneezing through the rest of it. It's so funny. Oh, that's so neat.
Transmuting energy.
Okay.
Yep,
Sorry.
you're making my nose itch. I can say that.
Well, there's definitely something strong there, because as soon as you started talking, I was sneezing and sneezing, and so we're releasing something into the field here,
Right.
because and you guys know this too, right? When it goes to that point where you kind of fall asleep a little bit, there's usually some real big part personality stuff that needs going on, because there was a part that was almost blocking you from doing that, to the point where it didn't. So you got the meditation, you got the points, but you didn't get the feeling probably to back it up as much, right?
Right. And normally I am very visual.
Right in
I mean,
there.
I'm so visual, and I was not tired when I came to the meditation. I'm not tired now.
Interesting, hey? Yeah.
Finding the whole so yeah, I found it very interesting. That's something I'll absolutely address in my own recodes.
Yeah, interesting. Eh? Yeah, we can totally our parts will
Thank you
try
for
and
that. It was good, and it gave me a good starting, like you say, a set point to do every day. But I really want to insert it, like I say, in my morning meditation.
Yeah. Well, I'll send the meditation to you so that you can have it just as a morning one. You can try it instead. And in my meditation that I do, I also have you at the end, we go back to our heart space, and we do a little bit more gratefulness stuff. So it sort of closes it out a little bit differently than I'm doing today, just because I'm doing a bit of a recode with it.
It was still great. It was still awesome.
Awesome. I love it. Well, and the recode will help you kind of get rid of any of those parts that not get rid of. We don't want to say that. We're going to bring all those parts in tonight so that they can actually sort of, I always liken it to, we have these oars rowing, and there's like 3 oarsmen on one side going one way and 3 oarsmen on the other side going the other way. And so we're going to get all those oarsmen sort of going through together in our recode tonight. We're going to get all 6 just kind of going the same way, and we're just going to go right down that river. So when I am going to sleep at night, one of the biggest ways I find to kind of shut the brain off is of course I use my oils like vetiver or cedar wood or any of those root type oils. They're really going to help you to ground, to sort the thoughts, to file some of the thoughts. So those oils are really good to try and sleep. Lavender, of course. Frankincense. They're ones that I will either like put in my diffuser, or I'll just kind of like take a drop and put it in my hands. And that this is actually my adaptive blend. This is one like an natural sort of antidepressant. So I just inhale it. Just cup and inhale around your nose. So you can do that with a roller bottle too. Just put it on your hand. Just cup and inhale it. So I'll do that before I go to bed. And what I will do is I will basically start guiding myself through a bit of a meditation. This one, it has about 15 different oils. There's spearmint, there's copaiba, there is magnolia, so it resets the adrenal glands, rosemary, neroli. They all kind of get you like producing GABA in the brain again, really getting, that's a doTERRA one. It's called Adaptive. It's made out of all the adaptogenic type herbs. So it's kind of like the stress in a bottle. It's my spa in a bottle, that one. So I do something like that before I go to bed. And then what I will do is I will actually kind of picture trying to walk down a beach, down a path. So super easy. You guys probably do this at home. I used to have this place that I would go to as a kid. I had a place at the beach with my grandma. And so I remember the sound of the door. I literally start with the door. I remember the sound of the door opening and then closing behind me, walking that pathway down to the beach, going down to the beach and just start going for a walk on the beach, just one step at a time, literally focusing on one step at a time, counting, just simply counting to 3 over and over again in your head. So simply going 1, 2, 3, just over and over again. You can picture the numbers, you can picture them going in and out, you can do whatever you want with those numbers, but you're simply just thinking about 1, 2, 3, just over and over and over again. I like the scenic, I kind of connect with nature, so I kind of like those kind of meditations. So I tend to start to talk to my super conscious as I'm going to bed. So I'll literally, if I've had any thoughts that have come up through that day, if I've had any really great things that I wanted to kind of keep sort of implanting into my super conscious before I go to bed, your brain basically goes into that delta state at that point. So it's able to actually really make a lot of profound differences. So going to bed and waking up, that first half an hour, you're still almost in alpha state where you're actually, or theta state, sorry, where you're actually dreaming. So you're still in that conscious space where things are going to just enter your mind and enter your field so much easier and be so much more profound. So going to bed, trying to do something along that lines of, and I actually, when I am self-recoding, and I've never really checked in with you guys about if you do a lot of self-recoding too, but I literally just kind of ask that my superconscious files my thoughts and helps me to literally just bring up any resistance and ask it to do a change history, ask it to tag it, ask it to treat it. If there's anything that I, need to sort of be able to focus on, I ask, for any messages that might be there for me, in that state. What could I really do tomorrow to make sure I kind of, go through that mini lenses at night while I start to fall asleep, just creating the life I love, creating a life of health. Because as we know, if we implant those messages to ourselves every morning, every evening, we're going to end up putting those kind of messages and those kind of thoughts in our filter. Kind of like if you're looking for a red truck, right? The red truck's in your filter. What we're doing is we're putting these positive thoughts in our filter instead of these negative thoughts. So if you're just to listen to something like that once a day, you're implanting that into your brain where it wasn't being implanted yesterday. So by doing that every day, you're actually really making serious cellular change in yourself simply by doing a meditation. It's just so powerful. So my favorite type of meditation, I won't keep you guys long. I just want to do a quick recode for you before we end up signing off tonight. Because recode is my favorite way of meditating. And I only call it a way of meditating because it's connecting. When we look at meditation, it's simply connecting with ourselves, going into mindfulness. The recode, however, is a lot more intense than just a meditation, right? You guys know from me talking before, the meditation or the recode itself is going to be what actually will give us those particular commands to be able to allow things to shift in our conscious field. So we have sort of gone through the money portal. We have been there. We set some pins up. We pinned some thoughts. We tagged some things. And what we're going to do is we are just going to step into a really quick recode, just kind of bringing forth all of those little pins. We're going to allow anything else that needs to be touched on tonight to be touched on. And we're going to send some of that love and abundance that we're going to create out to the universe right now. So one of the things I would like you guys to think about is something that you just really want to create right now, whether it's financial abundance, whether it's health, whether it is the willpower to have the health, whether it is just feeling really good, whether it is just having some ease and grace and peace in your life, love. I just want you to, for a moment, if you can, pick a really awesome choice for today. We are going to, I feel like abundance is just still really big because this is just a time where, I mean, who couldn't use a little bit more abundance in their lives? But I do also feel like I can feel like a few squares of you. There's more health stuff than anything. We've got definitely some more health stuff going on than anything. So kind of clearing that from the body and just allowing that to move through is what we're going to do right now. So I'm going to invite you ladies, because I think we lost Chris. now that I'm looking, I'm going to invite you ladies to come and I shouldn't say ladies because we're going to have replays. It's so funny how our language works, eh? I'm going to invite you all to come with me to the beach. And we are just going to go stand on the beach. You know, we are just going to go ground ourselves in the sand. We're going to let our feet kind of wiggle into the sand a little bit. And we're just going to imagine right now that we're on a beach. I'm going to ask you guys to just go there with me. And it can be any beach. We're going to pick a beach that maybe you went to on vacation once, but it's going to be a really beautiful beach. It doesn't have to be the beach that you go to all the time or the beach next door, but you might want it to be. I want you to just right now imagine a body of water, a body of sand, a beach. It could be an island. It could be anywhere. It could be just completely made up. It could be a place from a movie that you once were. And silently, if you will just allow me to connect with your superconscious field, I would love to just take you guys on a journey where we just create a life that we really love. We just become that predominant creative force in our life. We take hold of those things that may have just been a step away. We just really decide to just go for it. I want you to just choose right now. Feeling happy, feeling secure, feeling good in your body, feeling as though you could conquer the world. It's done. And I want you to imagine that you are standing on a beach. However you got there, you're already there. The water is in front of you. And I'm just going to ask that all of the parts of us, all of those many, 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 many parts of us, come to the beach with us. Come on board. Going on a journey of greater satisfaction, stopping losing time, reducing pain, creating the most ease and abundance and good health in life that's possible. And creating a perfect treatment plan together to allow all of our oarsmen in the boat to be paddling the same way. And I want you to just envision your feet in the sand right now. You digging your toes in a little bit so that the sand is actually cold underneath instead of hot. And I want you to feel the groundedness of having those vibrations of those little tiny pebbles in that sand touching your body right now. And I want you to imagine what the water would sound like. I'm going to have you imagine what the sun would feel like if you were standing grounded in the sand and facing the water, feeling powerful. What would the water sound like? What do the waves sound like? Are there waves? What is the water like on that beach? What is the color of that water like? I want you to just notice. Can you smell the water in the air? I'm going to have you gently close your eyes and take a nice deep breath for me. In through the belly, in through the nose, deflating that belly out through the mouth. Connecting with your breath. I want you to place your right hand out in front of you with your palm up. And I want you to place your left hand out so that your palm is facing out. So bring up your left hand so the left hand is facing out. And just face your palm and your right hand up. And as you breathe right now, I want you to imagine standing and looking at that water and feeling the energy of the water and feeling the energy of the air come in through your right hand. And as you breathe out, it goes out through your left hand. Breathing in and allowing that ocean water, that water from the beach, be absorbed through your right hand into your body, into your soul. And exhaling anything that doesn't serve you out that left hand. And as we breathe and hold our hands like this, super conscious, I want you to just bring up any of those emotions, those beliefs, anything right now that we need to be breathing out. We're going to use our breath and our hands to go back into our money portal where we put those pins and allow the field to just absorb all of those pins, all of those thoughts, moving them through our breath, through our bodies and soul, allowing the lessons to touch where they need, tagging and treating any of these emotions, any of these old beliefs, and just allowing that breath to move all of those through into a massive change history on all things needed, just allowing that breath to move those through. Super conscious, we're going to go back to those events, back to when we were way, way younger. All those strange things we heard, all of those stories we believed, all of those things we were allowed and weren't allowed and didn't have and couldn't have. Touching on all those broken agreements, all those sacred contracts. Feeling your feet in the sand, allowing your breath to move any of those through, tagging and treating those events and doing a massive change history. When the temperature feels the same coming in and going out of your hands, I want you to be able to drop them onto your lap and just allow your palms to remain up. Right now, we're going to allow the sun to again kiss our head. Just imagine what that light would feel like, that sunlight, that sun kiss. Allowing that light now to just remove any resistance, any thoughts. Moving it down through the body. Allowing the sun to just kiss each part of your face. And as it does, your skin lights up. It's almost as though it's scanning through and shifting and transmuting, clearing from any energy centers, from any muscle memory, and just moving down your whole body. Feeling that light go through the third eye and down through the throat chakra. Allowing the thyroid and all the glands around there to just literally be cleared. And super conscious tagging any of those first few chakras, treating anything that's necessary. It's bringing any of those thoughts that were suspended and allow them to just be treated by breath. And do a massive change history on those. Moving down into the heart center, we're just going to allow all the green colors to come rushing from our environment. All the grass or the trees, anything that's just emerald colored, just connecting with your heart chakra. And allowing that light to just move down into the torso, through the arms and the elbows and the wrists and each finger. And allowing that light, the sun, to just enter your whole stomach area. Allowing that solar plexus to be truly healed, to be balanced, to be flowing. Feeling all those muscles just relax in that area. Feeling the warmth and the tingling as the cells just repair themselves. And moving with a rusty orange sunset down into the sacral plexus. Allowing those energy centers to just be cleared. Just flushing them. The light is just healing them. And the sun is continuing to kiss the rest of the skin down your body, into your hips and your pelvis, allowing that deep red color to just heal that root chakra, balancing it, regenerating it. Just gently balancing everything in that whole area, all the way down the legs and into the feet, to the ankles and the toes. And allowing your toes again to be connected to the sand. You may choose to lie down on the beach. You may choose to just relax as you feel the sun just touch every muscle in your body. Just allowing all the rest of those parts that have come in to allow the treatment process, just creating the least amount of pain and the greatest amount of satisfaction. Treating all the rest of those energy centers and just doing a massive change history on all of those. And now allowing any of those family generational things that are ready to just be let go. As you breathe out, you can feel anything else that was causing resistance towards going into that true abundant state. Allowing all of those part personalities to all be rowing the same way in our little boat. Rowing so clearly just across, they only had to get across the creek. That's all they needed. They all want to work together. creating the most amount of abundance in life that's humanly possible. And superconscious, please recode all of the thoughts of not feeling enough. Please tag and treat any of the limiting beliefs of not being capable to hang on to it, not being capable to create more, not being smart enough, not knowing what to do, not looking the right way, not feeling well enough, just removing all of those limiting beliefs, tagging and treating them, doing a massive change history. Taking a few nice deep breaths. Just scanning through the field for any more resistance to having it all, to being fully abundant, to knowing what to do with it, to have it not all leaving as soon as we've got it, to have no ties, not owing anybody anything, letting go of all those old beliefs, doing a massive change history on all of those. Super conscious, again, going through those broken contracts, but the ones we've broken on ourselves, the ones we've not followed through on, just forgiving, allowing that forgiveness to ourselves and to others for some of those stories that we've told ourselves, some of those stories that we've let ourselves continue to tell, knowing they're not intentional, doing a massive change history on all those. Super conscious, I ask that you just go through and tag anything in the field, any of those pins that we had, any of those suspended thoughts that may have been trying to come in earlier. We may not even know what they are now. Just scanning through, making sure all of those bubbles have gotten the information that they needed, and they can now have the pin just taken out of them and they can just float away. And anything that was attached to them can just be returned to the universe tenfold. Superconscious, please plant the thoughts of I am abundant, I am wealthy, I am deserving, I am a money magnet. I'm open to receiving massive amounts of money in any way it wants to come, from any stream, immediately. And do a massive change history on that. And just grounding all of those new memories into the field, into the matrix of the universe. Treating past, present, and future timelines, quantum timelines, parallel timelines, and shadows. Doing a massive super recode. And when you're ready, you guys are welcome to come back to me with your senses that are still with you. That felt gentle, but it felt like things shifted a little bit there for some of us. So that was really good. I didn't ask you guys a resistance or to go into our current reality, because we are truly living in manifestation. I don't even want to bring our current reality in here, aside from what was brought up in that previous manifestation, so that we keep it really sort of focused and dialed in for today. There was some big stuff. There was like ties. If I'm taking this, I have to do so much that I almost don't want it, that were keeping me back, almost like ropes that were sort of like I had that almost like it was holding me in. It was kind of neat. It was almost like a one of those rope machines. I was almost picturing creative tension or structure, like those old belt machines that would shake you kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe that was Shannon's shaky machine, I felt, but it was like I was trying to stay in this creative tension, and it was just like, whoa, it was really quite interesting. That was wild.
Grandmother, my maternal grandmother couldn't swim, and she took care of us when I was a very little girl. And so she'd take us to the pond or to the lake to go fishing. And because she couldn't swim, she would actually tie ropes around our little waists. So if we were to fall in,
So she could reel you back in. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
that was
That's quite
before there were
brilliant.
all those clever. But in a way, isn't it true that we almost can be bound to our family legacies, our family negative beliefs through that same method?
Yeah, isn't it true?
Yeah.
When
The
you said
tethers.
that, it kind of resonated a little bit, and
Wow.
that was interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. That all comes up for a reason. Absolutely. Hey, thank you, Samara. Thank you so much for coming tonight. We will touch base this week, you and I, for sure. And I will invite you guys. I'll leave. I have another 10 minutes or so. If anybody wanted to share, I'm happy to hear anything you guys had to share. I really want you guys to stay grounded in that picture, that grounding your feet in the sand when you're starting to feel a little rocked, literally feel that power of that water coming in. Water so grounding, right? It's just so awesome to be able to have that sort of touch point. You guys all spend so much time in Recode You that I have left. I'm always really interested to hear any feedback that you have whatsoever. So feel free to share.
Sure, I'll jump in. So yeah, I tend to go pretty dramatic in these spells.
You do.
I wasn't
There
in
was
the
a
stand for
storm.
very long. I ended up like climbing up on like the cliffs, and I found the shelf, and I was having a good time with that. And waves were crashing. I've actually been at the spot that I was in, like physically, a couple years ago, and I've been trying to find it again because it was one of those things where you go off on some magical mystery tour and you find this weird spot on the coast of California, and then like I swear to God, I pinned it in my phone and everything, and I can't find it again. It
Oh,
was
that's
like
wild.
like I
Interesting.
just
It was like a magical place.
like it just happened. Yeah, and I shared
It
it
was
with
a
this
portal.
friend, and it was like we found this thing, and it was really weird how we found it, and it was almost like finding a private beach. And then we like wound our way down to the beach, and then we wound our way back up to this like cliffside, and it was like really fucking pretty, and the moon was
So
out.
cool.
Yeah, so I have parts of those in my memory, but this was a little bit more intense than that.
Definitely.
um
We'll have to unpack that a little more, eh?
yeah, I'll tell you more about that later. But it was no, it was really it was cool, but it tended to be like darker. So when you were starting to say like the sun is setting, and I was already kind of in the dark, which is okay. Like I didn't feel odd about
Good.
that, about
It was a
the
safe
about the
dark.
light to darkness. It just happened to that I was a little bit ahead of the schedule.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
I honestly wasn't paying attention to the sunset. I was kind of
Yeah.
somewhere else.
A lot of times people
So-
are even at nighttime by then too, especially if I'm
Sure.
going from root chakra up, then we go to the nighttime sky where it's the
Right.
stars come out, and just
So
depending.
yeah, but definitely like I could feel like that red energy. That was really nice.
Awesome.
And yeah, I was a little distracted, but
That's okay. No, you did good. I
it
saw
was
you get into
good.
the field. Yeah, we got some
Yeah.
stuff implanted there for sure.
Yeah, I
It's,
was able to stay. I was really impressed because the kid kept coming in and out.
yep. That,
Normally
you're a
I'm
pro
like
when, right?
nobody in here. Like that's
Jump
why I
back
like do
in.
my recodes during the day when she's gone.
Jump back into
You know,
That's awesome.
so no, I was able to stay in it, and he actually looked really nervous because he doesn't really know what I'm doing. So he was like, honey, I don't know what she's doing. He's like, get her, just come back out.
I just don't think you're supposed to be in there.
She's
I
doing some stuff.
I swear the people that listen to our our conversations or our sessions must think that we are on another planet for for sure. Hey,
Right.
okay.
It's like,
all right
who
with that.
fucking cares? Like, yeah, whatever.
I like my planet. And I do want to say, with the recodes, I do it. I mean, I'm a hardcore meditator. I'm so visual, and I get like, I really like to sort of, and so it might be too much for you guys too. And so feel free to give me your opinion on that too. No, it's okay.
No.
Good.
No, I do like the worlds that you build. I mean,
Good.
of the
It's
ones
fun.
that I've shared with you, I do really like the worlds that you build.
Nice.
Sometimes I can get lost in my own thought. I think that's just that ADD stuff.
Yeah.
Like
I was
where
just
if
gonna
I
say
like
that,
I
Kayla. She takes me away from my hamsters.
yeah. I
Takes me
mean, and if I can jump in, yeah, I will totally follow you to like the end of wherever we're going.
Yeah,
I came in a little distracted on this one, so it was like I literally had to kind of like Reiki out some stuff and be like, seriously, dude, shut up. I'm not listening to you right now. I want to focus on this.
Wheels. Yeah, the ADD hamsters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, no.
That's why we all get along so well.
Jackie, for me, I just wanted to thank you. You have a really calming, reassuring energy that allows me to just say, okay, you're driving. And it's a lot of people have a hard time, sitting in the passenger seat of a car, for example, on a road trip, or they can't nap in the passenger seat of a car while so-and-so is driving, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of thing. Some people, sometimes I go into a recode, and the person leading the recode, I wouldn't necessarily fall asleep in the passenger side and leave them drive me down the road. Your energy is very comfortable, and I found myself just, there were a lot of thoughts popping in and out, and there was all kinds of activity I was just kind of noticing. I didn't hang out and ruminate on any particular thought. I did notice that whatever the recode was delivering, because I wasn't concentrating on it, I gave you permission, and I just was sitting back. I noticed that I was yawning a lot, that there was a lot of physical, and then there were feelings, and I'm like, what is that? Whatever. And I just kind of took a back seat to the whole thing. And you're like, clear this, do this, and whatever. And then every once in a while, you'd be like, your feet are in the sand. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And, that kind of thing. And I just felt a whole lot of, there was probably more thought than feeling or physical sensation, but a little of all of it. And I wasn't consciously listening to where you were taking me. It's kind of like when you fall asleep and somebody's narrating what they're seeing out, out the front windshield. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna lay here. You do your thing, and you're getting me where I know where I'm going, because I communicated that. That was my choice, right? We're gonna do this. And I definitely felt like you have shifted some major things around for me when it comes to what, honestly, I was, whatever it was you were up to, you did a thing. And I feel better. And so I'll leave it right at that. It was
I so
lovely.
love it. I so love it.
Thank you.
You're amazing. Thank you, Sarah. Oh, I love you guys to
I-
pieces. You just
and
made
I-
my whole week, honestly.
I,
How
I
did you do, Tamara?
Jackie, I didn't fall asleep like the 2 times that I was with you, the last 2
Okay.
times, but I was almost there. It's so relaxing. You just take me in a place that I said, oh, so
Oh, I
delicious.
love it.
And I just see so much, it was wonderful. I just don't know how to describe it. I am not visual. With the money thing, of course I saw and all kinds of stuff, about money and stories from my past came, my great grandmother that used to have a big, I don't know how you call those things where you put what they used to travel with. It's not a suitcase, but it's a big trunk.
Okay,
And
yeah.
she had all the blocks of gold and whatever in there. So I picture all that because that was some value. That's how I picture money, and $2,000 bills and stuff.
I love it.
It was great.
Oh,
Thank
I
you so
love it.
much.
Oh, you guys are wonderful. Thank you so much. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
you guys being here tonight. I just love you, and I'm so grateful. It makes doing this, it just feels so good to be able to touch people. This is what it's all about. And I meant to sort of send a little bit more health through there, but I just knew in my head that I had already brought up a whole bunch of stuff, and it just kind of felt right. And I didn't want to keep you. I could recode for hours. Like, and I could have just
I
stayed
know.
in there. I could have cleaned house, but there was some stuff in the sacral area, and I don't like that low back stuff. I know, Kim, intuitively that like, or not non-intuitively, that you have stuff going on, but there was like this warmth, this rush of the color, like when it went to rusty orange, I just felt it like just kind of melting through that low back, and it felt so good. So
That
I
was
was,
probably me too.
oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, because
That
yeah,
was probably me.
And I was, I
Yes.
think I gravitated when you got to the root because I'm looking
Okay.
for the root healing to get into my knee chakra. So
yeah,
like
I figured, I didn't even do
kind of
the
like
knee chakra.
we
I
were
should have.
picking out what we needed for as you were like flowing through the body, which
That's
was
so good.
All
Perfect.
I know is I have to go to Milwaukee tomorrow for a birthday party, and I have to do hair during the day. I'm doing my cousin's hair for her birthday and stuff, and then I'm going to be out all night. And I just know I'm going to feel amazing all
Yeah, you
day.
are. Yeah, you are.
nice. You're going to be in Milwaukee? What?
Well, I grew up there. But I live in Beaver Dam now. I'm about 50 miles away. So
Oh, that's right. We're local. I forgot about that, Kim.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Why?
so
Where are
awesome.
you, Kayla?
I'm in Jefferson.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah,
We should have a cocktail.
I know.
Right?
I had no idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's how you ended up on my circle at some point because then I met Jackie through you right before you got COVID. So
Okay.
yeah.
I didn't know that. That's so cool.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
that's like how we kind of got into this.
Well, and I've had twice-
So
I've had
you have
twice-
Kim to blame for me.
You know what? I've blamed
You
for,
have
I've
Kim to
been
thank.
blamed
Yeah,
for-
that's it.
I have been blamed for a lot worse things. I tell you. I'll take it.
Kim.
But yes, we should definitely get a drink.
Absolutely. Well, my account got hacked, so you'll have to refriend me on Facebook because
Okay, is it the one that you have here on the? Yeah, I'll have to get that from Jackie.
Oh,
I'll make
fine.
sure I hook you guys up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll find.
let's do
I'll
that.
go look right now.
Yeah.
All righty.
All right.
All right. Well,
my
I love you all. I've got to go too.
love you
Thanks for
girls.
that time.
Have a great night. Thanks so much for
Thank
coming, you
you.
guys.
Thank
We will
you.
definitely chat soon.
Thanks.
All right.
All right. Good night.
Bye. Good night. Bye.